nice shirt, Paul.
Thanks, Matt.
I don't know why I said that so intensely, but I did.
You're just saying that because you wore a jacket today and I didn't.
I wore a sport coat, and our viewers are going to know why when they hear about our guest.
I know. Twinning. They call it twinning, man.
Do I look pretty good, though, with this?
You look great.
Thanks, man.
You should always wear
Appreciate that. Hey, welcome to the Beat LA podcast. My name is Matt Farici. I'm a writer-director in Los Angeles via San Francisco, and I am joined, as always, he started off the morning, Nick, in Cobb County, and then he went to Maricopa. He's our man on the ground, finding out the news, Mr. Paul Rule.
What news? What's in the news this week, Matt?
Listen, folks, we're recording this on Monday. We know the election's on Tuesday. This is coming out Wednesday or Thursday. So we're kind of future casting right now.
If you're listening to this podcast, it means the world didn't end on Election Day.
Right. And I'm assuming they're looking for votes in Arizona, maybe in Cobb, maybe a couple of other places that always seem to be those counties that drive an election.
Right. I know you're a big Jill Stein guy.
Well, Nick, our Nick Conrad, our man behind the scenes, he's still out there canvassing for Jill Stein, which is weird. Interesting.
That's the Green Party candidate? Is that who Jill Stein is? Nick's still trying to get over that fucking marathon he ran.
I don't know Nick's family, but I know Nick's dad right now. I'm just assuming he's like, what's my son goes out to California and canvasses for Jill Stein. No, but I know you're coming to this podcast to maybe get away from the 24/7 news cycle right now that's wrapped around the election. Once again, we're doing this on Monday. Paul, I wish you were in politics.
I worked in D.C.
I know you did.
Yeah, I could. That was one of my sliding doors. But
is there a sliding door? Okay, if you went down that sliding door, just indulge me here. Would you be a congressman, senator? What do you think? Where would it have gone? Would you be like an analyst behind the scenes, like one of those?
So my take on, I'd like to be like a senator in like Wyoming, not from a political standpoint, but there are only like 300,000 people in Wyoming.
Yeah.
So I feel like that you don't have to really listen to your constituents that much. There are not a lot of people you have to service.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Beat LA post-election podcast. You can catch this podcast on YouTube. You can see what Paul's wearing. You can see me in a sport coat for the first time. When you go to YouTube, follow and subscribe. You can also listen to us on Apple and Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. And also follow us on Instagram and TikTok. The Chinese government still loves us for now. We don't know what's going to happen there. Follow and subscribe. Paul.
Yes.
We have a great show today.
Great guest today.
Yeah. We got Mark Roybal, producer. He produced Mare of Easttown. He also executive produced some of your favorite films like No Country for Old Men back in the day, Doubt with Meryl Streep, some other films. He's got a television show called Task with Mark Ruffalo coming out next year.
It's going to be your next must-see Sunday night viewing on HBO.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he came here today because the Paul Rule Network is a network that extends itself very far and wide.
And he's a big 49er fan. So
that's
we're
right.
Get into all of that as the second half of the season comes around off the bye.
All right.
What are we starting with, Matt? I feel like we got to talk a little bit of baseball.
You want to go baseball first, or you want to go Warriors?
We should have a wheel that we spin.
We should. You want to go Dodgers?
Yeah, I want
to put that to bed?
Yeah, we got to put that to bed. So I realized a couple of things, Matt. So last week was our 34th podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Fernando Valenzuela was number 34.
Wow.
He died at the beginning of all this, and as soon as he died, and we all love Fernando Mania as much as we hate the Dodgers, I'm like, they're winning the World Series because that's how these things work. So it's kind of our fault that they won the World Series. You see how I did that? So we were 34.
I like how you connect the dots. Yeah.
Anyway, I mostly am over it already. I've completely ignored the news cycle, except for the one Dodger fan who blew his hand off.
Yeah.
Oh! Bro, call the 911 right now. Hurry up before he bleed out.
And you're like, oh, fuck. Like, my wife, Kristen was like, oh, my God, he's going to feel like an idiot. I'm like, no, I bet he's going to care. Like, he's going to, the rest of his life, that knucklehead's going to be like, it's like my World Series trophy. Look, I did this when the fucking Dodgers won the World Series, going around with a stump on his hand.
You're putting your hand over here. I've never done that to get, like, the support during the pod this way. That's a kind of an interesting thing.
It's a little bit like when you're taking a whiz, right? You kind of like.
You notice I kind of get this back elbow thing going. Yeah.
Anyway,
Paul, let's cut to I just want to talk about this for the fun and the giggles. During that final closing Game 5, you texted me in the 5th inning, and all you texted me when the New York Yankees were just kicking the ball all over the field, you texted me, Chico bail bonds.
Why you always picking on me? What did I do to you? Think about crate you call me bellyache and throw the ball to first base.
total bad news bears. It was fucking unbelievable.
What's fascinating, actually, and this is what I love about baseball, and maybe we can put this the before and after up of the Dodgers stats and the Yankee stats. The Yankees hit better than for average. Their OPS was higher. They had more home runs, more stolen bases. They outdid the Dodgers in like 5 categories and still lost because they can't play defense. They say in football, in the NBA, defense wins championships. That really doesn't apply to baseball. It's more pitching. But in this case, for the Yankees in this World Series, defense didn't win the championship.
Again, once they hit that homer, I said it before, once they hit that homer, the Kirk Gibson 2.0, the whole thing was over, and the Yankees were in their heads. We'll get off of that because I'm so glad I don't have to talk about the Dodgers for like 6 months. But I do want to talk one other baseball thing. The Giants did not hire me as their fucking GM, and I'm very upset about it.
Did they notify you by email or call you?
I got a couple of spam calls. I think they might have been from Buster, but I didn't recognize the number.
Okay.
So you know who they did hire?
Tell me.
This guy named Minasian.
Zach
Minasian. And by the way, he's not Asian.
Nope, he's Armenian.
Yeah, right. And you know who else he is? He is Tommy Lasorda's godson.
Yeah.
I know Tommy Lasorda's dead.
Yeah.
Hey, you and Tommy Lasorda. Yeah. I hate Tommy Lasorda.
Anyway, this guy was hired internally. He was their like VP of scouting.
With the Giants.
With the Giants. Okay. And Buster, all this talk that the Farhan system of doing things, they were going to try to fix it. They actually fucking hired as a GM a guy that Farhan brought into the organization. It seems strange to me. And also we brought in another spy. We all know that Farhan was a Dodgers spy. He'd worked for the Dodgers and he came to the Giants as a mole to fuck up the Giants. And now we got another Dodger spy.
These are our newly arrived surgeons, Drs. Trowbridge and Greenbaum.
Doctor?
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 So the Giants and Buster, they didn't go outside of the box with a lifer. Everyone thought they might go that Sabian, sort of Bobby Evans mold route.
I figured that'd be a special assistant. I thought they'd go out to another organization, though, where somebody had shown...
So let me ask you this question. You know, I was saying Kim Ng, you were talking about the guy with the Tigers.
Right.
Why do you think Buster ended up going with something familiar?
You know, on the plus side of this, he talked about the fact that Farhan, what he didn't like about what Farhan was doing is that Farhan did not delegate and Farhan did not listen to his team of people. And Buster wants these people to feel empowered. So you could read into that maybe he thinks the team wasn't half bad, that the problem was he had to cut off the head of the snake, right? So, and apparently Minasian was hanging around and making good impressions on Buster. So it was proximity, right? Like the fact that he was around when Buster was in the middle of his search and finally was like, you know what, I'm just going to hire you.
So when you cut the head off of a snake, and I'm thinking about this in National Geographic terms, is that like when you cut the head off a chicken? You know how the chicken keeps running around? When you cut the head off a snake, is the snake dead? Just dead immediately?
I don't know. I'm sure we can find that out.
Nick, I don't know why I'm looking at you, but do you know the answer? It wiggles around a little bit.
Yeah. There's a big snake in the plane, Jock! Oh, that's just my pet snake, Reggie! I hate snakes, Jock! I hate them!
I just noticed I'm drinking out of a Beat LA mug, and you're drinking out of a cup that says cream on it. Seems kind of...
Farm cup. That's where we do the pod. Farm Cup Coffee.
Right, I know. You got to promote the pod.
Yeah, and also we got this one here, prickly.
We're promoting Diego Torres Palma. Anyway, okay, so that's enough about baseball. But look, at least they got their guy, and I hope I'm wrong. And he is a scouting guy, which Buster said he wanted a baseball guy.
All right, but this is the $64,000 question I'm going to ask you for today.
Yeah.
On November 4th.
Right.
Are the Giants are going to go after him with a Brinks truck? Are we going to get Soto in the offseason?
No, we're not.
No, we're not. We're not going to get Juan Soto.
Because hitters don't want to go to San Francisco. It's where their careers go to die.
Let's just get a bunch of aces.
Yeah, we're
not getting Soto. Hey, the Golden State Warriors, as of this podcast, they're 4-1. They've won 3 games in a row without Steph Curry. He's been injured with a peroneal, not Peroni's injury. I can't believe you thought he had a crooked hoo-ha.
How do we know he doesn't have a crooked
Yin-a-yang, yang-a-lang-lang.
Put my Warriors hat on.
Yeah, but the Warriors look great. The depth that we've talked about is great. We actually won a game in Houston that we would have lost last year. 4-1. Curry's coming back tonight. They're playing the Washington Wizards.
5-1. I don't know. I can't remember.
Either way, they're playing the Washington Wizards tonight in Washington.
You think they'd win
Well,
that?
I don't know.
Their old buddy,
Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole.
They should win tonight. I'm not just knock on wood right now, but they're going to win tonight. They're going to go 6-1. Because I don't know if you saw this, the Washington Wizards have been eliminated from the postseason already. We look good, dude. Buddy Hield.
He's great. He's my favorite interview, too. He's from the Bahamas.
Splash Buddy.
Yeah, Splash Buddy, yeah.
In all seriousness, he's doing everything we wanted Clay to do, and he couldn't.
I don't know how they signed that guy for 3 years and not that much money. It's incredible.
I know we're not big wonks here. We want to be. But Brandon Pajemski's plus minus is something outlandish. Like when he's on the court, we're like plus 87. The guy's just a winner. TJD. Mike Dunleavy in his first draft, Pajemski and TJD.
Yeah.
You know, better than Bob Myers. The team looks really good.
And did a better job in free agency, you know, with Melton and Hield and
even Lindy Waters, man. The team looks really good. Kuminga's playing great. I don't want to, jump the gun here, but I'm positive.
The Warriors are hosting the All-Star game this year, and I heard that Adam Silver has gone to Steph to see how they could juice it up. How would you fix the All-Star game, Matt?
This is a great question, and it's funny that he goes to Steph, which is great. I think it's actually a microcosm for a bigger picture with the NBA. The problem with the NBA right now, Paul, more threes are being taken than ever before this season. It's not even basketball. And a lot of teams right now are like, a lot of podcasts, pundits, how do we fix the game of basketball? I mean, it's ridiculous right now, this game. Do we take away the three-point line? I don't know how to do this for this All-Star game. Maybe we take away the three-point line. People are talking about dunks, make those worth 3 points to have teams go inside into the lane. Ooh. But the big question with an All-Star game is how do you make a team play defense?
Right.
I flip this back to you. Right. How do you force one of the sides to play defense?
I don't know. You don't. So that's why I'm wondering what Steph's got up his sleeve or in
maybe
his pants.
Maybe they do it like a running man thing where if a team holds another team under a certain amount of points, there's like a money drop. There's like a hanging ball of money. Incentivize them in some way.
These guys already have so much money.
Or maybe like Gladiator. There's like animals on the court with chains cut to the clip.
I'm very excited about Gladiator 2. And I've been watching all the trailers, and I also realized something, Matt, that it's called Gladiator 2. They don't call Elaine knew he's calling, but they don't call movies like whatever 2, right?
Yeah.
They give it something like Gladiator, Gods and Warriors, or something like that. But they're just going, no, it's Gladiator 2. It feels very old school to me. I like it.
The only other film that pops in my head that went with the 2 was Speed 2. Which was one of Nick's favorite, because Nick, I don't know if you know this, he's a huge Jason Patrick fan.
I knew that, actually.
Yeah, you did know that.
He's gonna shoot the plane! Nice shot!
I think we're treading water right now. Do we want to get to our interview with Mark Roybal?
Let's do it, man. Yeah, we haven't talked Niners because we were saving that for Mark.
Mark, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back with an interview with Mark Roybal. Beat LA heads, we're back, and we have an awesome guest today. We always say that, but I think we mean it this time.
We definitely mean it this time.
Now, I know last week, people, I said we were going to have Kate Winslet on, okay? But believe me, I think this is better.
Absolutely.
This fits our niche better.
Yeah.
Over the years, our guest has executive produced some of your favorite critically acclaimed films, from Doubt to No Country for Old Men, Stop Loss, Moonrise Kingdom, to one of my low-key favorites back in the day, Like Crazy. I was going through something similar. We're not going to get into that today, okay?
Well, we might have to.
Okay. Recently, he executive produced the HBO series White House Plumbers, the award-winning TV series Mare of Easttown, and the upcoming HBO show Task with Mark Ruffalo. But to us, he's just a 49ers fan.
That's right.
Mark Roybal. Welcome.
Welcome,
Thank
Mark.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Trying to get Mark on the pod for a while now. We're finally back in LA, so we can
Appreciate
get him
it.
here
So
in
this is your guy.
person.
This is your guy. Tennis club. Did you meet him at tennis club or no?
Yeah, tennis club.
Yeah.
He's a DTP guy too. He's a Diego
that's
Torres
right.
Palma guy.
That's
so.
right.
Mark, I just discovered as we were bullshitting before we started here that you've gone full cold plunge.
That's right.
And that Paul here is scared to
That's
go
right.
full nuts into the plunge.
It's only the arm, apparently.
Only the arm. I
go
haven't
deep.
taken the boys all the way
What's up with that?
into the ocean. I don't know. I'm going to do it now. I'm feeling like I'm being
You got to do it.
peer pressured into this.
Don't even think about it. Just go.
Okay.
Mark, before we get into the 49ers and before we get into the business, you're like me. You're half Filipino.
That's right. Together we make one. Right there.
Is that the Filipino handshake? Because that's not really.
We can't show you.
Okay.
Yeah, no. It's
I was looking for something more than that.
a little more ritualistic.
This is why he's wearing a sport coat.
Yeah, well, that's why we knew we're on the same frequency there.
What's the other half?
Well, it's a little complicated. So my mother's full. Sorry, that's where the half.
Okay.
My father's from Santa Fe, New Mexico. So we're Hispanic and Native American.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hispanic, Native
But
American,
fully
Filipino.
brown.
Fully brown. See, I'm Italian Filipino.
Wow.
But when I was an actor, I only played Latinos
Okay.
on television.
Yeah, well. But you get the full culinary thing going then.
I do. I should have been a spy.
Yeah.
I usually say a fan of who plays you in the movie, but clearly who plays you in the movie is Matt Ferrucci.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love
Let's
that.
do comeback.
I love it.
Out of retirement.
I'd be honored. Damn.
Where do you want to go first? We want to go Niners?
Let's go Niners.
We want to go Niners.
I mean, always.
Let's go Niners.
All day long. I mean, I've blocked out 2 days. Here we go.
Yeah, exactly. We don't want to talk the election. God knows we don't really want to talk the business, right? Let's talk Niners. We want to get away from things.
Yeah. So you're born in Daly City.
I mean, I'm Filipino, so I have to be, Daly City.
He always gives me shit on this pod. It's become a running bit.
Yeah.
We talk
Spent
about
a lot of time with you, man.
We talk about the fusion. Do you have a favorite Filipino restaurant in Daly City?
Oh, I don't. Well, I mean, Goldilocks, right? I mean, the bakery, which is that's where I spend my weekends.
Got it.
Because it always had sweets. But I was not really. My mom was a really good cook, so I always depended on that.
Gotcha. No, it's good. It's better that way.
Yeah.
So OG Niner fan.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like the Super Bowls in the '80s. Kids growing up. Yeah.
Yeah. The glory days.
Don't age him like that.
No,
Matt.
it's fine. It's fine. I don't have my age. I'm 51. It's all good.
Okay,
Born in 73. Yeah.
Beautiful. How has that life journey been, being a Niners fan?
It's been pretty awesome. I got to be honest. I mean, I say, I love champions, and the Niners were certainly champions. It was a great dynasty. Being from San Francisco, you remember the catch. The catch was it, a defining moment in our childhood.
Yeah.
Montana looking, throwing in the end zone. Dwight Clark.
It really changed, I think, the trajectory of our city. Mm-hmm. I mean, it just defined so much about who we are as San Franciscans, how I saw the sport, how I saw what it took to be winners, how I saw how to be a champion, how I saw it to be an underdog in many ways. And I don't know, it's so evocative of everything of my childhood.
That's why we love sports.
That's why we love sports.
How you feeling about the current team?
Optimistic.
Okay.
Optimistic, yeah.
Okay, I like that.
We're 4-4, coming off of bye. Yeah. I liked how we looked against Dallas. We needed that win, right? Yeah. We got CMC coming back, I think. I'm pretty sure.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Taking a lot of cold plunges, probably.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
his whole body.
Hopefully, it's certainly the both feet.
But he's doing that not because of his football; it's because of Olivia. She probably tires him out.
He's got to just cool down the whole thing.
Am I not wrong? The laugh says it all.
I mean, they are newlyweds. So
she's younger. Is she younger than him?
No, she's not actually. I look at stuff like this.
Well, maybe because she's older, he has to keep up with her.
He's got to keep up with her.
Yeah.
Well, by the way, they did just buy a house here. Hopefully, we'll be seeing him in the off season.
Clooney's house or something, right?
Clooney's ex-house.
Yeah.
Ex-house.
Clooney's ex-house.
Wait, can I take it back to We just beat Dallas. The catch. Do you remember where you were when the catch happened?
Oh, I was at the house. I mean, look, Daly City, if you know anything, middle class family, right? Both my parents were nurses, so we couldn't afford any games. I think the first football game I went to was, I think I was in high school, and it was like a present to get tickets. So I was definitely at home watching the game and just losing my marbles, right?
Yeah.
So definitely at home, and it was. I mean, we watched every game at home, and my mom still watches games to this day, and is calling me up. He's like, "Are you watching the game?"
Yeah.
Right. I mean, yes, Mom. I'm watching the game just like you are. Of course, we're watching the game.
I think we should introduce your moms.
I think we should.
Because Lori's the same way, and she single-handedly won a World Series for us with her lucky quarter.
Yeah, that's it. There was a lucky quarter involved. Does your mom, like my mom, kind of discuss the hair? Does she have a big thing on the hair? She's like, "Why is his hair so long? Why doesn't he cut it? Are those dreadlocks real?" This is all they can discuss, our mothers.
She can't handle Alcaraz, too. Talking about tennis, she doesn't like Alcaraz. She doesn't like how he looks.
Yeah.
My mom loved Joe Montana's curls. Remember the curls used to come out at the bottom there? Yeah, she liked the curls.
Paul thinks some of the problems with Kyle Shanahan this year have to do with him kind of growing out a little bit. Have you noticed
The
he's got like a
lettuce,
Miami
the
Vice?
mullety, lettucey thing going on.
Yeah.
And his hipness this year speaks to maybe a midlife crisis.
Yeah,
This is where
yeah, I could see that. I mean, pressure's on, man. Pressure's on. Maybe he's growing his hair out because he's like, I'm not going to cut my hair until I win one.
Oh, interesting. It's like a hockey playoff
Yeah.
beard, or Bjorn Borg Wimbledon beard.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. I like the way he finds the positive in things.
So you think the Niners can turn it around and make a playoff run?
I think so. I mean, right? I mean, if we win the next, 9? I mean, we go 13-4. I mean, we got a tough schedule ahead of us
I'm
right
trying
now.
to get to 9-8.
Yeah, oh, gosh.
So you guys know that? So the Niners in the last 2 years after the bye are 16-2. And I heard this very good interview with John Lynch, who, by the way, should be the coach because he's way more articulate than Kyle and seems to understand football better somehow. But he says that they do better in the second half because of how they practice. They continue to do full contact practice and stuff towards the end of the season. Most teams don't do that.
Yeah.
And they gear up to be better in the second half. It's not by accident that they've been better in the second half.
You've been drinking some Kool-Aid?
I don't know.
I like it.
Mark's here. He's so positive.
I like it.
Hollywood ending, man. We want a Hollywood ending.
We're also a second half team. I mean, just think about that.
Sure.
I mean, look what we did in the third quarter.
Right.
Granted, yes, we've lost a couple of games in the fourth quarter in the 58th minute this season, but we are generally a second half team in general.
Thoughts on Brock? Brock is so polarizing. We've had Niner fans, guests on this pod who are one way. It's kind of election-like, red state, blue state when it comes to Brock. Where do you fall? Are you a Brock fan?
I'm a big Brock fan.
Yeah.
Big Brock fan.
I'm right there with you.
I don't know. I'm worried about the guy. Matt knows I have issues. Like this whole team decided to get married. They got kind of popular, and then they all got married, and they're all now distracted.
Oh.
So, what do you think about the fact that he went to Wyoming in the bye week with Kittle? Do you think it's a good thing, or should they be?
I didn't know that.
They went to Jackson, Wyoming.
Yeah, they should be practicing.
Nick, cut to that picture of Kittle and Brock fly fishing in Jackson, Wyoming. I think that's nice. I mean, most of these guys on their bye week, they go to Cabo, they go to Tulum, and they get after it. Yeah. These guys went fishing, isolated wilderness.
You don't think they should be I don't know,
lifting?
Yeah, in the middle of football season, man.
I don't know. They got to relax. They got to get their mind off
apparently,
things.
John Lynch said the same thing, that he encourages these guys to get away.
I'm down for it.
They got to take a mental break, he said.
I'm down for it. I like Brock. I think I know. Look, he's got to learn some schemes. He's got to learn how to play against some tough defenses. But he's got, I don't know. He's got something about him. He's got the poise. He makes some pretty good decisions.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got to bet on him. We got to believe in him.
Do we think he's too? I'm starting to think he's too short. He's out of the shotgun every time. It's more balls getting tipped this year than I ever remember.
That's true. That's true.
I don't know if that's going to be an issue.
But you know what? He's got the
stretch
mobility.
him.
He's got mobility.
He does. He's crazy
Put
fast.
him on a rack. Can we just stretch him?
Last week we had a guy on the pod who worked at the same company that reps Brock, and he wasn't on that team.
Oh, the guy from Range, I heard, yeah.
But all he wanted to know was Brock inside information.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
He got nothing out of that.
You successful Hollywood guys tend not to. We tend not to trip you up.
Yeah. It's a cone of silence.
I know.
Speaking of that, can I this is for my own thing because I'm most fascinated about
Yeah.
this. Just the quick origin story of the sense, not that you're a superhero, but how did you make that transition into producer? Where did that from college to that? How did you find your way into the business?
It's pretty straightforward. I started off in New York. I thought I was going to be an art dealer, so I ended up in New York, the capital, the art capital of the world. And somebody gave me some pretty sage advice. Said, if you want to get into the art business, go make a ton of money elsewhere. And so I followed some other interests, which was movies. I loved watching movies. Yeah. And actually the same person said, being an art dealer is like being a producer. And this was 1996, before computers and all that, and I didn't know what a producer was.
Yeah. So
I kind of just did a little bit of research, and at the time, the kind of big players in New York, there was Miramax, there was Tribeca, which is Robert De Niro, and Jane Rosenthal, and there was a guy named Scott Rudin. Yeah. I sent resumes to those three, and one person, and of course I loved De Niro,
sure,
right? And there's one person who responded. It was Scott Rudin.
Of course, everyone had their first job working for
Yeah,
Scott
sure.
Rudin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he couldn't keep anybody because he was a terror. Right?
Totally. They invited me in for an internship, a non-paid internship, and I walked in, and one of my former college mates was there. He was an assistant, and I was actually wearing a tie, a suit and tie, because I was going in for a job interview.
Yeah.
And the person who was interviewing me didn't want to hire me because I was wearing a suit and tie. But my friend was like, of course, you got to hire the guy. He's a college graduate. And so they gave me the job as an intern, unpaid.
Yeah.
And so I stayed, and because there was a lot of turnover, once an assistant left, which was after like a month or so, they offered me a paying gig. And I stayed there for about 12, 13 years.
Wow.
And
You were Scott Rudin for, wow.
yeah, just kind of hung around. I didn't know any better, right? I mean,
Sure.
I'm a pretty competitive guy, and I just was like, this guy's not going to break me. And
Wow.
And I just kind of just worked my way up, and
It's a badge of honor.
yeah, it was,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
at times it was incredibly difficult.
Right.
But I also found it to be incredibly fun. I mean, incredibly.
I mean, you made great movies, but he's been canceled.
Yes, he has been. Yeah, for his behavior and for the things he's done and treated people, for sure. He's been he's been ostracized for sure.
Yeah.
But it was at the time I didn't know any better.
No wonder you can get in the cold plunge. Like,
I'm a masochist.
You're
yeah.
tough, man.
Yeah, I'm a masochist. Yeah,
but he made worked for him for like a day.
Yeah, right.
But he made some incredible films.
Incredible films.
Yeah.
I mean,
Incredible Broadway.
Absolutely.
We'll cut to
Yeah.
one of them. What do you think the best movie you made?
I mean,
when you
well,
were
he
with
won an Oscar and something that I was fortunate to be a part of was No Country for
him?
Old
Right,
Men.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? And then one of his best films, I think, that he'll be known for as well is Social Network.
Drop the, just Facebook. It's cleaner.
Now you did Mare.
Yep.
Great experience. Great show. I love that. Like,
Thank you.
thank God that came into our lives
Oh, thanks.
during COVID.
Yeah, thanks.
I mean, like, listen, do we want to put BLA on the pod on the map here? Is season 2 going to happen?
Oh, gosh. I hope so. Not in the near future. I hope so.
It seems like they're limited series until they're successful, and then they find a way to do another one, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Look, it wasn't devised as an ongoing. It was Brad Inglesby, the creator, devised it as a limited, and it has a nice ending. Won't ruin it for anybody who hasn't seen it, but yeah, it has a very good complete ending, and there's been a lot of interest in continuing it.
Yeah.
Kate has expressed some interest as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think
She listens to the podcast, so you can talk directly to her right now.
Kate.
Yeah.
But it's about timing, and it's about also the kind of creative direction for it. And I think we just haven't synced up yet. You know, we've talked about it loosely, kind of informally. I think there'll be a time. I'll be
Sure.
honest. I think there's a desire to see her, and there's been a lot of people who said, "Oh, bring her back," and
Yeah.
there will be time. But I think we
If
just
you
need
need
to
a
find it.
half Filipino director on any of those episodes,
Yeah.
look at me pimping you out.
Yeah, look,
Yeah.
I love it. I love it. You're my agent.
You've gone this long without asking for a job. I'm
I know.
amazed.
I'm trying to.
I'm thinking maybe Mare of Daly City. I mean,
I mean, that Bay Area show we should
Yeah,
do. We really
yeah,
should.
yeah.
All right, you guys can talk offline.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then you're doing another Philly show with the same creator, right?
Yeah. So we just spent the last year in Philly. This is called Task. It's also for HBO.
Yep.
Another crime series. This starts.
Can we still call it HBO, or do we have to call it Max?
It's HBO.
It is still.
Oh yeah, for
okay,
sure.
Good.
And it'll come out on Sunday night.
Okay.
On
Oh,
a Sunday
wow.
night. Yeah. It's sometime in
Used to
the
be the
fall.
best night of television, yeah.
Yeah, fall of 2025.
Right.
It starts with Mark Ruffalo, Tom Pelphrey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Great
pretty
cast.
massive cast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's another crime show. And this one's a little bit more in the vein of Heat, I would say.
What does that say right there? Sounds like the film Heat.
There we go. Look at that.
Yeah, and that's a draw.
Yeah,
Because
there you go.
I read this here. It's an untitled drama set in working class suburbs outside of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
An FBI agent who heads a task force to put an end to a string of drug house robberies, led by an unsuspecting family man.
Sounds like a great show.
Sounds like a great show. Sounds
There
like
you
Heat.
go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Better than Heat.
There you go. I love it.
Yeah.
There
How
you
many
go.
episodes this season?
7 as well.
7.
And this, I will say, even though it's a limited series, Paul, you picked up on it.
Yeah.
It might, knock on wood, if it does well, it could go on for more than just one season.
Got it.
Knock on wood.
I'm excited. When is that going to come out?
Next fall.
You're kind of filling that space that I think everyone loves HBO for all of like sort of their crime dramas, from like True Detective to what's the one? Everyone. We watched it for 10 years.
Sopranos. Yeah.
And the other one, Baltimore.
Oh,
The Wire.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's a great. That's I mean, yeah, that's
like Game of Thrones. It has nothing to do.
Yeah.
with
And now we have Task.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for putting us in that league. Well, we'll see. I mean, that would be amazing. But yes, that's very nice of you. Very kind of you.
Are you doing mostly TV these days, or you're still in the movie game too?
Largely television, but I miss movies. Movies are very difficult to make. Television too, but I've been doing a lot of television, but I'll be doing some movies as well.
Okay.
I mean, I love them both. I mean, you know.
Can I ask you a state of the business?
Sure.
This is the question that he gets when he goes on to like the Hollywood Reporter, Variety. Those boring, like, oh my God, I gotta answer these fucking questions. But the state of the business, okay, everyone's like talking about, like, contraction was the key word of this year, okay?
Okay.
And I feel like I went to the movies last night.
Yeah.
I go to the movies a lot. And I
what'd
feel
you
like
see?
I saw Conclave.
Oh, wow. What'd you think?
I
can't
loved
wait.
it.
I
fucking loved it. I actually waited to see if your name would pop up, because I knew you were with Indian Paintbrush years ago, right?
Yes, I was. Yeah.
And so I feel like more people are back at the movie theater than ever. Is the adult mid-budget drama comedy coming back? What's between the balance of TV and film? Does it feel like film's making a bit of a comeback? What's your thoughts on this?
Oh, that's a very good question. I hope so, and I think so.
Okay.
I think it gravitated towards television a few years ago, and that's kind of why I went to television, to be honest. Like 7 years ago, I was at 20th Century Fox, and we were just making a lot of big movies, big event movies. I was part of Planet of the Apes franchise, and so I really enjoyed that. But I just noticed that those were the kinds of movies, you know, the big Marvel movies, franchise events. I think that's largely what's happening in movies. But that mid-size adult movie that is not the event, that was disappearing, and that was going towards television. That's why I went there. But I do think it's starting to come back, like the Conclaves, like those thrillers.
Like the Enoras.
Yes, Enoras. I think that is coming. It didn't disappear. It eventually went to streaming a little bit, and then it's starting to come back theatrically, and that's a good sign. I think that I think people just don't want the event movies. They want a nice balance. They want to be able to go to theaters and see those kinds of movies. And I think there's money to be made. I think people want to invest in them. I think people can make money off of them. I think studios can make money off of them. Financiers can make money. So I think it's just a matter of having a high quality of those, and have to have the right marketing and have the right outlet. And I think you just have to. There won't be a lot of them, as many as there were, but there will be a nice balance between theatrical and streaming. And that's starting to come back.
It's exciting, because everyone we know is thinks that the sky is falling in the industry, post-writer's strike, post-pandemic, all this stuff. So it's why we started a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
I think it's not as robust as it was pre-pandemic. It's gonna slowly come back, and it'll take some time to get to a place where it was pre-pandemic, but it's gonna take a while. It won't be the same, but it'll look a lot different, but there's going to be a business that'll be back in a couple of years for sure.
I mean, it seemed like one of the things that hurt these sort of mid-budget movies was COVID protocols and how expensive it was to try to shoot during the pandemic, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So now that that's out of the way, that's a good thing.
God, I've got my business fix. I got my like Hollywood insider fix that I need.
So we got to throw some shade on the Dodgers, because we're all marinating anger about them winning the World Series. But you have your own Dodger hatred story. So let's go there.
Yeah, so I grew up a Dodgers fan in San Francisco, which is a mortal sin, of course. Yeah. My aunt introduced me to the Dodgers when I was a kid. She lived down here, sent me all the Dodgers gear. It was Fernando Mania, right? And of course they win the World Series in '81. So I'm like, wow, okay, here we are, champions. I know how to pick champions.
You like champions in '81,
just like
Cash.
Exactly, right. Yeah. I also learned early on, never meet your heroes.
Ron Say, Mike Scioscia?
Of course.
Or was it Steve Garvey?
Steve Garvey, number 6.
What did Garvey do
first
to you?
First baseman.
Okay.
So I go to Candlestick and go early for batting practice and get his autograph, and he's there, and Mr. Garvey, have a ball, and I'm trying to get his autograph, And he basically comes up and he basically goes, I'm like, Mr. Garvey, can I get your autograph? And he basically just says, does one of those and like says, you know, like, not now, kid, and walks into the dugout and just sits there. Now, I didn't know this at the time, but, you know, he didn't sign balls because I guess he's saving them to go sell them.
Sure.
I'm basically,
Pete Rose of him.
Yeah. And I basically was like blown off. I'm like, what the hell? No way. And he's just sitting there doing nothing. And I'm like, I showed up early for this guy, and he just blew me off. Yeah. So I'm like, well, fuck off, Steve Garvey. And so who are the rivals to the Dodgers? At the time, the Yankees. And I didn't have cable, so I was watching the game of the week, which was usually on, I think it was on NBC. It was the Yankees being broadcast on the game of the week mostly, and that's who I followed. And they fucking sucked.
They did. Yeah,
and so I grew up a Yankees fan. And that's how I ended up watching the Yankees. By the way, I was never going to be a Giants fan. I was never going to be a Giants fan because I had already given up on the Giants.
Got it. Because that was bad.
Dodgers.
Yeah,
that was bad. And so I ended up a Yankees fan.
Fascinating.
So you voted for Steve Garvey, is what you're saying?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Yes, that's what
this is kind of dropping right after the election.
Campaign donations.
The U.S. Senator from California, Steve Garvey. Did he win?
I don't know. We don't have the crystal ball right now.
I think we could predict that he did not win.
All right, Mark, we're going to get you out of here. You've been a good sport. Let's just wrap up with the 49ers. They're playing this weekend. We do this with me and Paul, but since you're a Niners fan, they're going to Tampa Bay.
Yep.
It's a 10 a.m. game. We got to get up early.
Right.
You got to get the kids out to do whatever they need to do.
We'll be watching.
10 a.m. game. All right.
Are your kids, have you raised them properly? Are they all
properly.
Niners fans?
Yeah, we went to the Super Bowl. I took all three boys to the Super Bowl.
Oh, good.
It was rough, but you know.
I was there.
Yeah.
I was there. Did you give me COVID? Because I came home with COVID.
No, God.
I flew with Diego on a private jet thinking that would not. Anyway, I think the guy next to me had it. He fell asleep in the middle of the game.
This guy next to me, he's resting up for the second half.
Wake him up! Go Niners!
Yeah, that was painful. I went to both losses. I went to the one in Miami too.
God, I went to the one in New Orleans.
12
when the lights went out.
You know what's interesting about that is the way the juju and the funding for this podcast works is he's gone to 2 and lost. So now this year, the next one I get to go to, and he gets to stay home.
Yeah,
because we can only send one. We can only afford to send one. This week, the Niners are playing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The line started at 4.
Oh.
And it's ballooned now to now we're a 6.5 point favorite.
Whoa.
Maybe because they read the stat you said coming out of the bye. Any prediction this week? You want to give us a score? What happens this Sunday? Niners, Buccaneers.
I think it's going to be, I'm going to say we're going to beat the spread handily.
Wow. Ooh, I love it. I love it. I don't know the over-under, but we're going to beat the spread.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like the way this guy thinks.
Beat the spread.
You know why? Because I'm going to go with him. You know why? Because, and I'm going to be presumptuous here, the half Filipino in us likes to gamble. We like to pull the slots. And so I'm gonna go over 2. So I think the Niners win.
They're great off of a bye. Remember what they did last year in Jacksonville? Is that who they played after the bye?
Great pull.
Yeah, I'm confident in this one game. I like to. If you listen to the pod, Mark, I tend to be neg. I could be throwing the whole juju off here.
I think the 49ers come back from that bye. Fly fishing in Jackson, Wyoming. I think we hit our 30-point marker, and I think we win this thing 30-17.
Okay. I think the fact we had Mark on the pod is good luck. It's got to be good luck. 2 Filipino guys, Niner fans in the same place. That's like magic, right?
I think this reel is going to be hashtag Filipino Pride. It's going to get like fucking 10,000 views.
That's right. Filipino Pride. I love it.
You want to get him out of here with the questions? Your question and questions?
Well, I already asked a question. Who plays in the movie? It's Matt Ferrucci.
There you go.
How about the other one?
Who else plays you in the movie? It's not Matt. Who's going to go to network? Matt and who? Like, who are you competing for the job of playing Mark Roybal with?
Gosh. I mean, it's pretty good. I mean, and he's got the dark hair. He doesn't even have gray hair.
But this is the under $1 million budge casting. If we go over 5, we're looking at Benjamin Bratt for him.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe Pedro Pascal. Maybe.
Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, gosh, I'm flattered. If I could blush, really, please.
Yeah. Thanks to my agent, he gets 5%, not 10.
What's the best thing you're watching right now?
Yeah.
I'm catching up on Slow Horses.
Okay.
Are you guys watching Slow Horses?
Yeah.
That's
We're
great.
both fans.
Yeah, I'm in the middle of season 4.
Can you imagine producing something that's just like they're grinding those out?
Oh, man. I wish.
I wish. None of these limited series, man. You want Friends. You want like 300 episodes.
Yeah, where you just show up and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
You want to be Dick Wolf, right?
Yeah, exactly. Episode 1200.
Of Chicago, cold plunge. Yeah.
Well, we want to thank the Filipino Dick Wolf. For coming on.
Appreciate that.
Mark, thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're the best.
It's a real pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank you.
All right, we're back. What a great interview with Mark Roybal. Again, Paul, you bring these guests in here. I didn't meet Mark until today. That's the type of producer I want on my productions.
I'm just so glad you didn't give him your resume because I was waiting for you to embarrass yourself.
Oh, you think my resume is embarrassing?
No, I see your resume is embarrassing. You just can't hit our guests up for jobs, Matt.
Actually, I have the reverse problem.
Yeah.
I don't put myself out there enough.
Okay, fair enough.
Like Mark will probably do 3 other movies, and I'll never be. You'd be like, "Why didn't you email me to hit up Mark for a gig?"
That's true.
And I'm like, I don't want to,
Well, you and Mark, by the way, you did a lot of like the Filipino bonding. Mark and I share something in common too, by the way. We both have tennis elbow currently.
You do.
So there you go.
But Mark seems like the guy, like the producer you want and said, very even keeled, super interesting.
In fact, he worked for Scott Rudin for that long.
Scott
It's
Rudin,
unbelievable.
I know.
People who listen to podcasts don't know what Scott Rudin is. Look him up. He is a true lunatic.
And Mark survived that, and now he's
a Zen master, man.
He's producing some of the best stuff on television right now, which is super impressive. Yeah, what a really good guy. And it's not surprising because he is half Filipino. No, seriously. I don't know why Nick's laughing, you fucking entitled white man. It's like when you're half Filipino, we know what's up.
Clearly. But both his parents were nurses.
It's great.
He's very caring.
This hand, the support hand.
I don't know what's going on.
Great, dude. I fucking love it.
I just finished watching the fucking Menendez show. There's a whole thing where the earthquake keeps happening, all the aftershocks. So maybe I'm bracing myself.
Yeah, I was here in '94. I don't remember that. I remember the first.
I don't remember any of those aftershocks. That was all bullshit. Were there like aftershocks like every day for like a year? I don't remember that at all.
I remember that after the Loma Prieta. Folks, this is the BLA podcast. We're brought to you by Pet Pro Supply Co. That is our wonderful sponsor. Listen, if you need something for your cats, dogs, kittens, squirrels, possums,
headless
snakes.
Yep.
Go to Pet Pro Supply Co. They got everything you need, and they're a great sponsor of the show. Paul, do you have any pet peeves or pet pleasures this week?
So talk about pets. I just read about this guy in New York State. They did like this full like crazy task force. They went into his house because he had a pet squirrel called Peanut.
Okay.
And they confiscated the pet squirrel because you're apparently not allowed to have squirrels in your house. So I think that's bullshit. You should, if you can domesticate a squirrel, you should be able to have a squirrel.
Absolutely,
in your house.
1,000%.
Isn't that fucked up?
Yeah, it's weak.
Overreach.
Who's calling the police on a guy with a squirrel in the house?
It's unbelievable.
Peanut. Is that what you're going with this week?
No. So we're going pet peeves?
Yeah.
So, okay, I got a pet peeve, Matt. You want to hear my pet peeve? Yeah. I've decided that I really dislike celebrity voiceovers for ads.
Okay.
So like John Hamm does like the fucking Mercedes stuff, and like Josh Lucas from like Sweet Home Alabama or whatever. Like he does Home Depot. Yeah. Drives me crazy. Yeah. Just have a guy, just have a voiceover guy. Yeah. Like the whole time all I'm thinking is, okay, like Don Draper's trying to sell me Mercedes. That pisses me off.
Gotcha.
Does that not bother you?
No, but I can get my head around this because it's so left field. I feel like that's something a lot of people can have. That's a particular, like, Matthew McConaughey selling me all sorts of stuff.
But at least he's in him, right?
Okay.
Get in front of the camera and just, do the Bill Murray in Lost in Translation thing, right?
Well, how about this? Maybe they have good voice. Like Queen Latifah, I know, does all the AT&T ads for years.
I know. It's also taking jobs away from the voiceover guys.
I love it. I love it when you get progressive.
Yeah.
I love it when you're a union guy instead of a union buster.
Yeah. So anyway, that's my pet peeve.
I don't know if this is a pet peeve or a pet pleasure, but I texted you this week. Halloween was last week, and Bill Belichick he's
you love this.
He's 70 plus, 72, and he's got a 24-year-old girlfriend. And she went in as a mermaid, and they took a picture on a beach of him saving this mermaid, this beached mermaid on the beach. I mean, on one hand, Belichick just blatantly dating a 24-year-old who wasn't alive before he started coaching the Patriots. For men, I'll just call a spade a spade. It's inspirational. But is there also something wrong with it as well? Am I pissed that Belichick gets to date this cute 24-year-old, or am I like, good for him? That's why I'm going to kick the can to you, Paul. Where do you stand on this?
Where do I stand on it? I mean, look, the guy's worked hard. He's won a lot of Super Bowls. He's enjoying his semi-retirement being an announcer. He and Nick Saban are both actually quite good announcers, by the way. I just don't think, look, he can do whatever he wants. The mermaid thing kind of creeped me out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't really need to see what's happening. And then I can, like, imagine them, like, in the bedroom and stuff. And Belichick with, like, the saggy...
You go there.
balls and
Yeah.
whatever else is going on there.
Right.
Yeah.
I want all listeners right now, if you're in your car or you're on the treadmill, wherever you're listening to this podcast, I want you to close your eyes and imagine Bill Belichick on top of a 24-year-old.
Oh God.
Wait, what?
Wearing only the hoodie, the cut.
Just the hoodie?
Just the hoodie with the cut sleeves, but no pants on.
What's that look called when you go with the top with no pants? That's called something, right?
It's like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, like a Winnie the Pooh. He's on full Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, Winnie the Pooh doesn't have any pants.
Yeah.
Or Donald Duck. Like one of those.
He's Donald Ducking.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Okay, so that's Pet Peeves, ladies and gentlemen, this week on the BLA podcast. Let's quickly wrap this baby up with the best things we saw.
God, we're getting good at this.
I know. Paul, anything you want to recommend or not recommend?
So, okay, you let me do Pet Peeves first, but I'm going to jump ahead here too, Matt, because you're going to be so proud of me.
Talk to me.
I watched something that you haven't seen that's current.
Give it to me.
The Substance.
Oh, my God.
You seen this fucking crazy movie?
I almost saw it last night. I didn't. Tell me. Did you like it?
So it won Best Screenplay at Cannes,
believe
it or not. So the woman who wrote and directed it, she's French, and she wrote this movie called I think it's called Rescue or something. 2017 was apparently kind of crazy. This movie's totally insane. It's basically Ozempic the movie,
well,
right?
For everyone that's listening, Substance stars Demi Moore as, give me the log line here, as a woman, a former actress.
Yes, and the whole thing, she's basically like a jazzer-sized superstar.
Who wants to look younger.
Yes. And so she takes the substance, and then crazy shit happens. It's basically Fight Club with Ozempic. Is basically how
it's a thriller, horror thriller,
and it's got Margaret Qualley, who, by the way, in 6 Degrees of LA podcast, Margaret Qualley is married to Jack Antonoff from Fun and Steel Train and Evan Winniker's buddy.
Great. So that means we're having Margaret
Qualley will be on
next week.
There's a lot of nudity in this.
Yep.
So if you like your nudity, I would definitely dial this one up. And apparently the nudity was enhanced by all sorts of like CGI and lots of prosthetics, kind of old school prosthetics. Hey, the movie is out of its fucking mind. We watched it. Kristen and I watched it on Halloween night on something called Mubi.
Mubi, I love Mubi.
You know what Mubi is?
Yeah.
We got the free thing, and I just canceled it. I would recommend it. Again, it's Fight Club sort of meets Ozempic, but it also had a lot of elements to me of things like Old Boy or The Host or some of these like Japanese kind of Korean cinema that has this sort of mixed, tone and genre thing going on. Because it's kind of a satire, but it's also fucking disgusting.
I mean, clear out for Paul.
Jordan, open, Chicago with the lead.
I love it when you go full on letterbox. That was like your Instagram letterbox
I used to know a lot
interview
about this stuff, man.
on the red carpet. Man, you're just dropping Old Boy and The Host and like, that's great, man.
Audition. Check out the movie Audition if you've never seen Audition.
Yeah, that's great, man. The Substance, I know a few people who saw it and said it's wild.
Yeah.
It's fucking wild. And like, I'd like to say Demi Moore, she's on my Mount Rushmore.
I know. You're going to say she hasn't lost her fastball. She looks great in this.
She looks great.
It was sort of ironic that she decided she needs to look younger because she looks very young for how old she is.
Hey, this is a crazy podcast because I'm also going to recommend a movie that's also in the theaters now. I mean, we are in the fucking zeitgeist right now. I'm going to recommend a movie I saw last night called Conclave.
You just mentioned that to Mark Roybal.
Yeah, it's a film with Ray Fiennes, John Lithgow, Stanley Tucci, Isabella Rossellini.
Ooh.
They cast the shit out of this movie.
Wow.
It's great. It's about a pope who dies in present day, and they have to do the conclave with the cardinals to elect a new pope. And it's salacious, backstabbing. It's a microcosm for picking the new pope is no different than what's going on in the elections around the world and the United States. You have the conservative right faction. You have the progressive left. Everyone's backstabbing as they try to ascend to the papacy. I'm a big history guy, just like you. I love all things Vatican.
Two Popes was a great movie too.
Yeah, Two Popes was amazing. I love all things Vatican drama. And this film is absolutely outstanding. It's intrigue. And here's the crazy thing, Paul. I went last night at 9 o'clock at the Grove. Packed.
Wow.
It was packed. Black, white, Latino, Chinese, 15-year-olds to 80-year-olds. It was packed. And I think probably for the subject matter, there's a lot of Roman Catholics out there and all that stuff. But it's a great movie. It's in my top 5. It's going to get nominated for a couple of Oscars for sure.
Yeah, the director, what did he did?
Edward Berger.
All Quiet on the Western Front.
Did he do that? Because I was wondering what else he had done.
Yeah, I think that was what he did. It's totally up my alley. And like as we said to Mark Roybal, this idea that these mid-budget movies about something maybe are coming back. That would be good.
So you know how they called it was Barbenheimer? Because it was like go see Barbie and then go see Oppenheimer. I think with Substance and Conclave, it could be go do a subclave. I just came up with that. That's how good I am. A subclave.
That's interesting you brought up Oppenheimer, because maybe that's one of the reasons these movies we might start seeing more of those kind of movies again, because it made a ton of money.
Yeah.
Obviously won all the Oscars too. But maybe people are getting a little sick of these comic book movies finally.
Yeah. That's the best things we saw, ladies and gentlemen. Any shout outs?
Go ahead.
I just came up with this off the top of my head. I'm going to shout out the United States of America. And I know people are probably, I'm just guessing, things are a little hot. People are on edge a little bit. Let's try to have some cooler heads prevail. The
Republic will survive.
We will, yes. And as you know, I know things are hot, very sensitive right now.
Basically, you're doing a shout out to the Constitution. That's what it sounds like.
I'm just shouting out, like, let's not lose our fucking mind and get into a fight at Ralph's over a T-shirt.
All right.
Okay, that's what I'm saying.
That's your shout out.
That's my shout out.
I'm going to shout out our guest, Mark Roybal. I'm going to shout out the fact that I'm friends with two handsome Filipino men.
That's great. That's great.
Half Filipino.
Half Filipino, man.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
I'm a lucky guy.
That's it. Oh, well, there it is, folks. That is the Beat LA podcast. We are going to be back next week because we're on a roll right now with a great guest. She is going to be great.
Yes, we have a female guest.
Yeah, coming on next week.
Kamala Harris.
Until next week, folks.
Jill Stein, she's coming on the pod.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Bookend.
Isabella Rossellini. Beat LA.
Beat LA.